and safety hazards, uncertainty, reduced customer access, declining revenues, disruptions, and mounting financial hardship. A broad spectrum of the community expressed their frustration over these delays and the impact they have had on the community at a standing room only July 30th town hall at Bethesda Temple Church, widely covered by the media, including ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. The burden of these unexplained delays should not rest on the shoulders of the Crenshaw Corridor community, which acted in good faith and supported this historic project. If the city fails to provide a complete and substantive response to this correspondence within 30 days of the date of this letter, the Crenshaw Corridor community reserves its right to pursue all of its rights and remedies. Sincerely, the Crenshaw Corridor community. To read the complete letter detailing all of our demands, go to our website at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Get better every single day. That was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, do that for 20 years, what do you have?
I leveled up and I've been living different. Of course they hate when it can't relate, I would say it's a sickness. That kind of bind on your mind, they fix it with prescriptions. Is you a prison, more a prison? Rewrite your depiction. Totem pole, as I climb the face is changing. Need rearranging. What's way more dangerous is the fact they see me as a kid. Off magic, I made it. I shouldn't be hanging. I'm Calvin Cambridge, where that was just my luck. Told them keep it up, never been a running straight gun and kill them all and then clean it up. Being like Mike was the old me, I'm more like Kobe. Same killer, different mentality. I do it all for balance. See, I had this privilege, I told good riddance, cause the way I got it had me suspicious. Finally hit my senses, so instead I've been infiltrating trenches, leaving imprints for every young princess and princess with melanated pigment. Yeah, I've been living different. Of course they hate when it can't relate, I would say it's a sickness. That kind of bind on your mind, ain't fixing with prescriptions. Is you a prison, more a prison? Rewrite your depictions. Ain't no more being victims. I can tell that you know there's gotta be more. I'm here to remind you of that power you got, that you got to unlock. If you wish to be the real you,
define who you are and what you are and be clear on it.
KBLA Talk 1580. He's in the studio. An MC, a hip-hop MC from Inglewood, California. Found his creative expression, he says, amongst harsh realities through poetry and then writing rap starting at the age of 13. He is here in studio on hip-hop's birthday. He's got music credits on ABC, Lifetime, Peacock, and Netflix tour with Brooklyn hip-hop artist Coda, the Friend. And, well, we'll let you tell you about all of the ventures. I met him on stage. Yeah. One of the rare times I actually leave the house. UraelB, welcome.
Thank you. It's a glorious day to be here for hip hop.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. Miles Lowe is with us as well. He's here every day. It's his actual birthday today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Miles. But it's also the birthday, some say, of hip hop. I say some say because I'm not one of those. What people say, this is a specific date that, DJ Kool Herc had these parties that led to the birth of hip hop. So this is officially recognized. I don't know, what is it, 52 now? Is it 50? 53?
Yeah.
Hip hop is
1973.
Okay, 53 today. I myself feel that hip hop spontaneously burst from the soil in multiple places at once. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's kind of more of a spectrum than one place. But, partly because I witnessed some of it. Right. I've been around that long. I mean, is it The Last Poets? Is it Gil Scott-Heron? Is it Amiri Baraka? Is it DJ Kool Herc? Is it East Coast, West Coast. They try to say it's coming from the toasting traditions of Jamaica. Well, maybe so, but then again, it's a uniquely African American tradition, in my opinion. What say you, UraelB? You are probably one of the, I guess, more current generations, right, of hip hop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of homogeny that gets put on hip hop. Everything seems to be as if it all started one place, one birthplace, one Mecca. And I like to have an epicenter when I think of hip hop as well, because a lot of the black arts movements that we cherish today in this day and age came from the East Coast, in New York and Harlem and other places that black people were thriving. And after the Great Migration, they took a lot of their culture too, and finally got the other side to recognize officially. So I think in terms of hip hop, Gil Scott-Heron is one of those people I credit as one of the first poets, rappers, and artists of his day, not just doing what conventional music artists do, but doing it in his way that shows there's a new fascination with words and language that eventually birthed into what hip-hop became, because the MCs had to go with the DJs.
Right. And so does hip-hop start with James Brown, because without Funky Drummer, like what,
And James Brown, George Clinton, those are the kind of artists that laid the foundation for all the break dances and sampling that hip hop did. So, yeah, I would agree with you on that.
And then, on the other hand, I understand what you're saying. We want an epicenter. I'm not trying to take credit away from New York, but I think it's oversimplifying. And I'm not trying to take love away from DJ Kool Herc either. Yeah. But, Miles, did I ever ask you that? Do you believe that today is really the birthday of hip hop, that it's 53, that we can define it down to that one moment, or is it more of an organic kind of?
I feel like it's I'm all for giving it a birthday. Shout out to August 11th, by the way.
Because it's your birthday, right?
Hip hop's a Leo, so it makes sense.
Now that tracks.
Yeah.
Big, loud, and all about me.
But what I will say, when we talked with Father Amdi, and he was like, man, he's like, rap had a baby called hip hop. Hip hop didn't have a baby called rap. So I look at it like that, and I did really downloaded that and really stuck with that heavy. So I'm gonna go with that way.
One thing that I do love about rap, hip hop's baby, as Amdi put it, but hip hop in general, is that, and I don't know if this is going away. You can tell me, UraelB, because you're from today's hip hop generation, which is that there's been a tradition of knowing who did what, whether you're a DJ, a graffiti artist, or a rapper. Well, this one started that, and that's the father of this, and I think that's dope, because it does give credit to pioneers in a way, even if they may never get that big check. Some of them do if their name is Jay-Z, but they may never get that big check, but at least they get credit.
Yeah, I think there's two subsets of hip hop, specifically being the rooted in the culture version, and then the commercialized version that a lot of people are familiar with today. So that's probably where the dissonance between who did what and who's in charge of what sector of hip hop comes from. I wouldn't even consider myself somebody they would label a conscious rapper today, because it's lyric heavy, and I also make very fun and enjoyable records that don't have a lot to do with the lyrics when it comes to a technical standpoint. But some people would consider me that. Outside of that, people have their own lane, whether it's trap or lo-fi hip hop or melodic rap, or even backpack rap is another term. So people in each sector have their own pioneers, and it's not to say that they didn't start it, but sometimes they were just the first ones famous for it.
Right. But I bet you can name a lot of people within the culture that you admire or don't admire.
Yeah, definitely. I think from an admiration standpoint, someone like KRS-One is who my dad put me onto as I was growing up, and wasn't somebody I thought wasn't popular until later on, and things phased out and got commercialized, and hip-hop changed who its champion was. Then it became artists like Jay-Z or Lil Wayne, and they're great in their own respects, but each generation has their own champion. And that's where I started. I started with listening to KRS-One, EPMD. I started listening to Tupac early in his days when I was growing up, from just the underground tapes with Digital Underground, and these were the poets that inspired me because of the messages they brought. Whereas there are plenty of artists I love from the standpoint of enjoying their music and then bringing positivity and love to people, and those aren't always the artists who are also celebrated in hip-hop because it leans towards other genres. Some people call it pop rap, some people call it another version of hip-hop that wouldn't be considered by what they call the old heads like as true hip-hop. So I'm all for it. I think the problem is that when we divide and try to conquer different parts of our own, situations, then it becomes problematic because it all came from the same source, the same root. I'm not going to bicker with you if we have the same mother about whose mother she really is. We're siblings at that point, so people divide too much in hip-hop, and I think that's the real source of why things feel saturated.
Yeah, UraelB, interesting point about, the divide and conquer thing is definitely part of it, and at the same time people claiming their own, people have a right to claim their own inspiration, and but also this idea, you said you wouldn't necessarily categorize yourself as a conscious rapper, and that in the past has been sort of a, I'm a clean rapper, I'm a conscious rapper, he's a gangster. But most of the time in my experience, that wasn't the artist labeling themselves. That was either a record company or the community or a hater that was giving them that title. Miles, do you consider yourself a conscious rapper?
I don't. I'm very lyrical. I'm a storyteller, but sometimes these stories are dark stories. Sometimes these stories, like you said, are funny stories, are hard stories. So, no, I don't necessarily consider myself conscious. There's consciousness in me. I'm speaking from a conscious place. I'm conscious of what I'm talking about. I'm intentional with what I'm talking about. But as far as to label me as a conscious rapper, that means you're cutting off the fun of it. You're cutting off the party. You're cutting off all that.
Does that limit your opportunities?
Now I think it does. If this was 25, 30 years ago, it was probably the one thing they wanted because it was safe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe because I mean, not on radio.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe in the clubs. I don't know. I don't claim to be an expert, but I certainly am a witness.
Yeah.
We're talking about hip hop. UraelB is here, and we heard some of your music. We'll be hearing some more. We're inviting you in if you have an opinion at 800-920-1580. Happy birthday, whether it's today or, well, the past 53 years, 55, 60, 75? How old is hip-hop? Hip-hop be lying about its age. Listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
I heard that this brother is MIA, but I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Marquise Dawson. It's his district. He has an office in the back of Crenshaw Destination. I have not seen this brother one time in my life. On TV, yes. Newspapers, yes. And all that other stuff. But to come across the street and talk to people, or even next door to talk to people, I haven't seen this brother ever. The people who are doing the construction, and my count is 21 months. Well, let me know if I'm wrong, how long it's been abandoned. I'm calling it abandoned construction. And I've emailed a lot of people from the city, and they always gave me a date that it'll be done this day, it'll be done that day. But next door to us is the people who actually are doing the construction. Those are my next door neighbors. That's how I know what's going on. They haven't been there for 21 months.
Not letting them get away with anything. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Being this fresh kill, man, it's so surreal. It's way more than the skills. I got the flavor and drive, the flows that keep you alive. This ain't no facade, we just giving you vibes. Something groovy, you can bump in your ride. It's not hard being the main attraction. With all this action, I could go start acting, adapting to fashion. Umbrellas won't stop my reign. I claim the game, and hip-hop's name is big.
Groovy. Why be someone else when I can just do me? With me now, you better pray you don't lose me. Cause when I make it big, they gon' want to choose me. Can't fool me, I'm groovy.
This gon' be your jam. 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 This gon' be your jam.
UraelB, outro our song. What are we hearing right here?
Right now, we're hearing Groovy by the one and only UraelB. It's a song I wrote in college. I was 19. This was one of the first songs I wrote that felt timeless the moment I wrote it. And a lot of people, this was the song you heard when you watched me perform back in July of last year. So this one always resonates
what
with
month
people.
it is. What month it was. Good job. That was a great performance.
Thank you.
And Miles, you do a great performance too. Miles performs with a live band. Is the art of performance back, UraelB?
It never left. You just have to find it, sift through the noise and find it.
Sift through the boring track shows and super auto-tune.
To each his own. Yes, I agree. I think it's hard to sit there and listen to something you could have listened to in the car or on your own phone speakers at home because it's the track. If you're performing, you need to be a performer. I don't want to just listen to something I could have listened to on, any streaming
Watch
platform.
you lip sync.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the night that I came there were a lot of different artists performing. You definitely did stand out as far as just your energy, your stage presentation. And Miles, I think Miles has definitely got the Clark Kent thing going. You see him back there running the board and he's, calm and bringing people water and stuff. And then he gets on stage and all of a sudden this other total persona comes out. So to me, those are signs. Like if I met you right now, UraelB, I wouldn't necessarily think this guy's fire on stage because you seem intellectual and calm, but you guys both have that thing, and to me, that thing is important.
Mm-hmm.
There are some MCs that can walk around all the time, some poets, some actors, some comedians that walk around all the time like they're always on.
Mm-hmm.
But the Michael Jackson type that have that off-on switch, I think that's a good sign.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. So how do you flip that switch? Like, what is that?
I still haven't figured it out.
Okay. It just happens.
And what's crazy is I told my girlfriend the other day, I don't get to experience myself. I have no clue what it's like for you to watch me. I just go up there, do something, and then I come back to normal. It's like I blank out. But I think that's one of those feelings where you trust your gut, you trust your intuition, and the performance and rehearsal you've done already, and you just let it all go. Some people say you study, you work hard, and then you forget it.
Work
the
hard,
moment you
play
perform.
free. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Chanel, our operations person, says, I have a radio voice. And I don't think so, but she goes, well, it's the same thing. I just get on the mic and here comes Sasha Fierce or whatever. Let's go to Kwamel calling us from Gardena. Good morning, Kwamel.
Hello there, because you already know. when a hip hop discussion comes, I tag myself.
Here comes Kwamel.
What's up, Kwamel?
The poet.
Peace. Yes. Yeah. Happy born day to my good brother Miles Lowe. I want to start kind of adding some tidbits because I want to get y'all's take from your generational perspective too. But just to add some of the magic here. Well, first off, peace to the last poets, Watts Prophets, Andy Hamilton and Gill. But I feel like those were more kind of jazz kind of brothers, not like jazz acts, but people that were more with the kind of jazz personality, which was considered the most black radical.
Okay, so just like
time.
someone in the chat is saying, naming some of the other jazz people, the Cab Callaways. Mm-hmm. What about the DJs? The DJs who used to rhyme on the mic. What about the comedians, the Flip Wilsons? A lot of folks say those folks are the
bebop and rap are very like one in one. They were just a different time period.
Yeah, I just feel like that's kind of over, like kind of adding over too many seasonings to it, if you will.
Yeah,
like, I mean, we were like. I mean, I'm not dissing you, brother, but it's to kind of understand that as hip hop starts, it's more the spirit of youth like yourself or youth, from my Gen X time, and to see how that kind of came to be. But it was picking up inspiration from Gill and Last Poets and some of the movies they were seeing with the dancers and everything. Like LA is I'll land the plane real soon, Dominique. So
I'm not pushing you. Did I say something? Just go with your flow, poet.
I know it's this young brother's time, but no. I just want to add some things because LA. The reason it captures hip-hop so quickly and so early and is known as one of the great early hip-hop cities, even before K-Day, is because you had people like the Lockers, Shabba-Doo, who was in the movie Breaking, who, rerun, on what's happening. That was early hip-hop coming to us, and the whole country was seeing that. Just like in Crooklyn, they were showing Soul Train, whole country was seeing that, seeing L.A. folks get it in. And it was like, oh, that's flavor. And
I mean, and I know some people, including probably Alonzo Williams, who would argue that was happening before it was on Good Times in the streets of LA, certainly in the streets of the Bay. Like the dance scene was so vibrant there, which is where I'm from. And Yogi Fish makes the point in the chat in the YouTube chat that hip hop samples jazz records. So where does it end, Kwamel? Where does it end?
I mean, it's not just the jazz; it's the funk too. Thank you for bringing up the
really,
Bay.
Where does it begin?
But thank you for bringing up the Bay, and here's where I start to land. So, because the Bay brings not only the funk dancing, but also brings that free hippie spirit. And not to call the Bay a bunch of hippies, but it brings that spirit it brings a spirit that's very necessary to UraelB's and Miles' point, to keep hip-hop fun and free flowing, and for us to take, okay, we got all these influences, now let's show our twist with it.
Rest in peace, Shock G. Rest in peace. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, all that above. So now time to throw to you and the Miles, UraelB. I want to know what are what are the things y'all want to see return outside of the rap and hip hop, and on top of that, what do y'all consider like the legendary venues of hip hop in your time? What do you consider like those legendary venues? Like, yo, I got to go rock there. Or if I want to get some hip hop with me, I want to go to that spot. Thank you for your time, Dominique.
All right, Kwamel, you rock. Appreciate you.
I would say, as far as something I want to see come back, I've been telling myself this for a while now, but I want to see not only the break dancing get put back into the forefront of hip hop, because a lot of parties nowadays are people standing in rooms. it's genuinely just people standing in rooms, and like who wants to be seen that day? Like they're doing it for the photo op, the social media op. And I want to see real break dancing and footwork come back to hip hop. It's not that it's not there, but I think it's branched off into like some sector of social media where it's dance challenges and like trend dances that don't really meld with like, oh, we want to be on stage with artists or like have our own time to shine. And in some aspects they still have it, but I would love to see it get bridged back. And the other thing I would say as far as the venues, I don't know if we have a lot anymore in LA, but there are iconic venues, but not specifically for hip hop anymore, because we've hit our peak when it comes to people wanting to see hip hop artists. And Rolling Loud being in LA, but then getting, shut down after a few years just shows you there's not really a demand for people to come to LA and see hip hop at a particular venue. But the one venue I've always wanted to perform at, and I still do to this day, and I'm not going to any concert until I actually perform there myself, is the Great Western Forum. That's where I want to perform.
Oh man, Miles, I guess you'll have to answer that question after news, traffic, and sports. We're trying to stay on time. We are celebrating hip hop's birthday, whether it was today or not, and we are talking with artist UraelB. Miles Lowe, we're celebrating his birthday, also an artist on deck. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Thousands of residents are returning home in the Spokane, Washington area after massive wildfires forced widespread evacuations. Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles.
Our weather event that came in yesterday did not cause the spread of the fire in a way we were very concerned that it was going to.
Officials say improved weather conditions helped firefighters gain ground, but some neighborhoods remain off limits as crews assess damage. Questions are growing in Jackson, Mississippi after the body of Black 29-year-old Tasia Fortune was found hanging from a tree behind a vacant home. City Councilman Kenneth Stokes is calling for federal involvement as authorities continue investigating the circumstances surrounding her death. And thousands of Howard University students have been moving into campus housing ahead of the new school year. University leaders welcomed incoming students, including hundreds who were recently reinstated after being temporarily de-enrolled over missing payment deadlines. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers got a much-needed victory Monday night. They held on for a 6-5 win over the Kansas City Royals. First win at home for the Dodgers since July 30th against Seattle. The Clippers have an unofficial milestone. They signed a guy named Jamarian Sharp. At 7'5", the 24-year-old Sharp is currently the tallest player in the NBA. Sharp is an inch taller than San Antonio Spurs star Victor Wembanyama, but he is nowhere near Wembanyama's skill level. Despite his size, Sharp was not selected in the 2024 NBA draft after playing for Mississippi. That might be a hint for Clippers fans to not get too excited. Sharp was in the G League last season with the Texas Legends, the Dallas Mavericks affiliate. The Clippers signed Sharp as a free agent, which means he's not guaranteed a roster spot. He'll have to make the team in training camp and the preseason. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's good, KBLA delegation? I am Miles Lowe, and I'm excited to be joining the weekend lineup right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Join me every Saturday at 12 noon for the Do Better Show, where we get into the world of tech, AI, the creator economy, navigating your mental health through it all, and have conversations with founders to find out how real people are making real money right now. It's not a course, not a subscription. Class is in session every weekend, live on the air. So if you knew better, you do better, right? So let's make a better you. The Do Better Show, every Saturday, 12 noon, and replaying again at 7 p.m. right here on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk.
You ready?
Drop it. 2 shows, 1 Friday. All Amanda Seals. What's up, y'all? Catch me here on KBLA Talk 1580. First from noon to 2 p.m. And if you miss me, I'm back 4 to 6 p.m. See, this is where the conversation gets real. Ooh, and it gets good. So don't miss it. Fridays only on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know him, you trust him, and now the whole nation is taking notice. Talkers Magazine, the Bible of talk radio, has ranked Tavis Smiley number 14 on their prestigious Heavy 100 list. 100 voices, the most important in all of talk radio. Tavis has moved from number 45 to number 33 to number 16, and now he's in the top 15, right here on your station. His is one of the most trusted, credible, and reliable voices in broadcast media today. Straight, no chaser, always. Tavis brings you the conversations that matter, the newsmakers, the truth tellers, the voices that don't get heard anywhere else. Weekdays on this station. This is what it sounds like when your community has a seat at the table.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Everybody loves the sunshine when the rain falls down. Everybody loves the moonlight when the sun's too bright. Everybody loves the sunshine when the rain falls down. Everybody loves the moonlight when the sun's too bright. Sorry I missed your call. My intuition had the day off. From working overtime, I hope you're fine. I know you just got laid off. Punching in wasn't in your A-ball, but still you made it work until it hurt and when it pay off. Maybe we wouldn't have this workaholism or prison. We sit into what ain't isn't. Been feeling like Shia LaBeouf, man, I'm just in a hole. If 23 and one of my chromosomes could prove me wrong, then I'd have the burden of proof. Is it reasonable to doubt my truth? If 95 Hove believed it, I can too. I'm rambling in case you get this message. I hope the line's not disconnected. Everybody loves the sunshine.
That's the voice of UraelB. Want to say something about that track?
Yeah, first and foremost, rest in peace to Roy Ayers.
Yes.
Rest in peace to my grandfather too, who inspired this song as well. But yeah, moonlight, everybody loves the sunshine when the rain falls, but the moonlight gets really bright when the sun goes away. So to each his own. The grass is always greener. That's what the song is about.
And Grandpa's name?
David Blackshear Sr. Thank you for all you've done for me. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I always like to say their names, So, UraelB, is hip hop ever gonna die? Is hip hop here to stay?
We've been talking about it. What is its inception? I feel like nothing has died. It's only transformed from bebop to blues to jazz. All of it is transforming to what we have today with R&B, soul, and hip hop. And I don't think it'll die. It'll grow and continue to flourish through people like myself, Miles, other artists who are pushing the art form for what it is, and that's fine art. I don't think fine art ever dies. It lives on and gets cherished and put in the zeitgeist of the world into something that people will appreciate for the rest of humanity.
Miles, you didn't get to answer Kwamel's questions. You got a legendary venue or something you wish would come back?
I mean, we were talking about New York. Like, there's the, because hip hop is deep. And I was hoping we would get deeper than just the music and talk about like the fashion and the DJs and the the dancing and the venues. And I was just looking at old footage from like the Tunnel days back in New York and like Apollo days when Wu-Tang Clan gets up there and goes crazy on Apollo stages. So stuff like that would still seem real iconic to me. So I'd love to do something like that, go on like a real like underground field tour of like all the little dungeon venues like that.
That's how it was in the Bay when I was coming up. Is there was always like a warehouse. It was always an underground party with breakdancing, as you said, and people would. It was just a vibe. I guess I think a lot of the things that people say are gone in hip hop, as you said, UraelB, they're still there. You just got to know where to look. And for me, it's the love. I would like to see the love, and I don't think the love is really left. But what I mean, I'm talking about the love of the craft, the love of the words, the love of fashion, the love of the art. Like that's where it started. I'm not a purist. I don't think one school is better than that school is better than that school. But it's the love that I would like to see like rise up more again, because the foundation of hip hop was the love of all of those aspects of the culture. That's what kept it going, because we didn't have those big money contracts back in the day. People were just doing it because it was dope. Like that was the point. Big Phil, you're on the air. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. That was on sleep. Let me say one thing. Miles and that little guy you got on there, I'm very proud of you young brothers. I think you're the future for the rap. I don't like no gangster rap. I'm more of Gil Scott era, but I'm very proud for both of you brothers. I think you do well. Be around the right people in your life because that thug life is very dangerous. Actually going to trial for Tupac thing and another trial about the other guy. But I wish you brothers well. I'm very proud of you. Let's keep it moving. Big Phil, I'm out. God bless.
Thank you, Big Phil.
That's love. That's love. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. It's a great way to spend August 11th, not just because people say it's hip-hop's birthday, not just because this trial is kicking off around the murder of Tupac, and not just because it's Miles' birthday, but I love that you guys do both represent a new iteration, a new continuation of the craft, of the culture of hip-hop. I know you said you don't consider yourself a conscious rapper, and Miles, you said same, but this is something that I'm putting a lot of thought into right now, so I'm going to utilize the two young brains that are sitting here. Do you think that music, the hip-hop music, rap, influences where we are politically or in terms of our consciousness more, or does the politics influence the artist more? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Black Lives Matter could be a good example. Was it that, Easy was saying F the police and Tupac was getting beat up by the police and that leads to Black Lives Matter, BLM grassroots? Or is it that the streets rebel and the artists respond and help fuel the action and the justice and liberation of the people? My dad is known, Amiri Baraka, as the founder of the Black Arts Movement. The Black Arts Movement represents a commitment to our liberation through the music. But which is more influential towards which aspect?
I think it's yin and yang. There's a lot of parts of society that we imitate as artists and we bring to the forefront because it's what the actual streets are going through. And vice versa. I think as artists, we have a platform that a lot of people and normal citizens don't. And when we speak up, we bring that voice from the streets or from wherever we're from to the rest of the world and public consciousness. So now people are starting to take it more serious. I have this joke in my song, Obama Special, that says, I'm just a rapper. Nobody gives a F about my title. And no matter what I say, because I am a rapper, because I have a label on me, only certain people will hear me out. A lot of people won't take me serious. If I go run for public office or if I go do anything in my community, they're going to see that, oh, he's just a rapper helping out, not what positivity I'm doing. So I think there's a conversation that needs to be had with art actually imitating the politics we have, but politics is also getting a lot of its influence from rap and hip-hop music because we're the most radical thinkers. We have a lot to say, and some people just refuse to say it, and we're those people.
Miles, you want to build on that?
Yeah, I feel like, when hip-hop started, it was like on some gods and earth type of stuff. It was Peace King, Peace Queen, it had that type of
that 5%
of connotation to it instead of the
that's after hip to hip to hop. That's after the battle really started with a lot of the battles, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that I don't know. I know that sparked what made hip hop the most influential music on the planet Earth at a certain time. But I think that we gotta figure out where it is that it reverted and took a turn. I think when the money got put into it, and now I'm not quite sure because you have people that will. The once we got into that cash rules everything around me, dollar bill, bling bling, all about the Benjamins type of spirit of hip hop. I think since then we've been very compromised, and it seems like it may not be that way anymore. It seems like it may be the other way around, where the dollar influences the top people, and then we have a funnel coming down from there, and you have the outliers who nobody wants to look at because all the light is shined.
Yeah.
Where the diamonds are.
I think that's true. I also think it's a cycle because I remember way back, I can't even remember what year it was, but it's been decades, when a prominent artist told me, oh yeah, we're not on that conscious anymore. Now we're on some party. And I was like, okay. And then, it seems like maybe a couple years later we were back on that conscious. I feel like it cycles, but I do feel like as the record companies have gotten more and more, and not just record companies now, because people have deals for all kinds of stuff. People have deals with, I don't know, Target. So as the corporations get more influential, I feel like we spend more and more time on consumeristic party and also, stuff they think sells, which is violence and sex, and less time on other things. But no matter how hedonistic the culture gets, to me, this is my theory, no matter how hedonistic the culture gets in the mainstream and what's being pushed by corporate, there's always the streets pulling on people, because people still got friends going to jail, being beat up by police. People still are touched themselves by racism. People are still trying to feed families, and not one rapper not going to feed their whole block. So I just feel like the streets and the real lives of black people and other conscious people are going to continue to influence the music, no matter how corporate it gets.
Yeah, that's true. There's always a voice for the voices, and art has been that for a lot of people.
But I'm not sure which is more influential towards which, because I know politicians do draw from the people, and artists, are oftentimes the voice of the people.
It's best when the artist can lead the charge and be the tip of the spear, and not be on the back burner receiving the instructions. But at this point though, it takes a certain art. You got to be brave to do that though. You know what I mean? That's not an easy. I think it's easy if you're in tune with your art and you have a purpose to it and it's naturally coming from you. But it's not easy to tell somebody. A lot of people got into the game too, like you said, to feed their mom, to get their people about the hood, to get their people to college, whatever. So it's hard to tell them to go somewhere else where there's no money. They're not getting the capital. That's not why they got into it. So yeah, it's tricky, slippery slope.
Well, yeah, and I'm just talking about what moves people. I mean, I think the anti-apartheid movement is a good example of it going the other way around, because for sure it was us, the student activists, shutting down, Bank of America on campus because they were investing in the racist regime there. For sure it was the student activists pushing for divestment, and we were protesting, that influenced the artists. But I've also seen it go the other way around. I've seen artists bring consciousness to movements, or ideas. I think the whole super Afrocentric consciousness of like those, I think Chuck D was leading. I think, X-Clan and those guys were leading, and then people kind of followed. But for sure I've seen it the other way around. The streets spearheaded the anti-apartheid movement, and then the rappers got on board.
The thing is now though is that hip hop, what they label hip hop as now is not just for the streets; it's for mass consumption. So you can't expect to get some soul food, home cooked. But
meal. Consciousness should be for mass consumption too, shouldn't it?
It should. Consciousness should be for mass consumption, but I've always told myself, just to, I guess, ease my worries, is some people don't want what's good for them, and you just have to let them come around to it when they need to. Consciousness isn't something to be shoved down people's voices or people's throats. No matter if you have a voice or not, people want and need that change when they're willing to come around to. You just got to keep preaching that.
Yeah. Tell folks how to get your music, UraelB.
My music is everywhere you can stream music. Listen to it on all platforms. You can go to my website, UraelB.com. That's URAEL, the letter B.com. Support me there directly. I have a lot of merch that I'm pushing for this project. It's called Respect the Real Volume 2, and all of it is available there. It's a beautiful ode to hip-hop, a letter to Los Angeles, and a deep look at my childhood. So I would love if everybody listened to that. It would deeply move me.
And we know we can get your stuff at mileslowmusic.com.
mileslowmusic.com. Go to even.biz and cop the new album North Star. You can go to, it's on streaming sites too. So if you're that type of person, go ahead and stream it. It's for free. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you do want to join and actually supporting the artist and getting the art from the artist, which I've been pushing, and not giving your money and data to those big streaming sites, go to mileslowmusic.com or go to even.biz and tap in with the music.
Okay, when we come forward, I want to at least get a quick take from UraelB and definitely Miles about what you guys think about this Tupac trial.
Okay.
It's not. He's not on trial. But, you
Thank
know.
God.
Yeah. Thank goodness. All right. And of course, we're talking hip hop. You're welcome in 800-920-1580. Happy birthday, whether it's today, yesterday, or all year long. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
Women's Leadership Project is a black feminist mentoring, civic engagement, and advocacy program. We have rallied, marched, and disrupted in front of the unaccountable Marquise Harris Dawson's office for several years now. We have gone down to City Council and City Hall and spoken truth to power to try and get resources and protection and funding for black girls and black women in this city who are only 4.3% of the population in this community, yet we are disproportionately victimized by sex trafficking, sex violence, domestic violence, and intimate partner violence. We have met numerous times with the unaccountable MIA trifling Marquise and his deputies, and he has turned tail and run. We have tried to meet and give a proposal to Destination Crenshaw to step up and hold space and provide protections for our youth in the Crenshaw district area, because there are no safe youth spaces in City Council District 8 in the Crenshaw corridor.
Holding them accountable. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
It does continue right now. Rap artist UraelB is here. He is from Inglewood. And you can find him at UraelB.com in case you want to buy that. Support the artist, as Miles said. Miles Lowe is here. And I know you, UraelB, this is our first time talking on the mic. I saw you perform. It was great. But you did mention Pac just in passing. Mm-hmm. So how are you feeling about this now murder trial? It started jury selection yesterday. And I guess this is what they arrested Keefe D like 3 years ago, and he was charged in 2023. That's 30 years after Tupac was killed.
Once again, I hate that they dig up corpses on these kind of situations, because yes, investigating a murder, whether you can solve it right when it happened or 30 years later, is definitely justice. I think that's necessary. But the publication of it, the exploitation of just the entire mystery surrounding it, doesn't sit right with me. I never thought it sat right. I did a speech in high school in debate class about Tupac's murder and it being a conspiracy theory. And even then, it was one of those things where people knew about it, but people liked to engage in it in a way where it was like a fun conspiracy. This is somebody's actual life, and it was tragically taken. And I think they're still taking those same sentiments and doing it now with the public trial right before the birthday of hip hop. It seems a little too coincidental to me for it to be something like genuine. So,
Miles, your thoughts? I know Tupac is one of your favorite artists.
For sure, but and like he said, it's like I look at the dates and the significance of when stuff happens these days. So for it to be on hip hop's birthday now, for it to be on the 30-year anniversary in a couple weeks of his murder, I do believe it may be a little bit of a reason why things are moving at this time. But on a much higher level, spirit of Tupac lives, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe in karma, and I believe in karmic retribution. And I believe that, that's just a sign that the spirit of Tupac still got some unmoved, stones left. He got to turn over still, in my opinion, or some tables to flip over. So, thug life till I die. I feel you, Pac. So shout out to Pac, a real one, for real.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I find myself very disengaged from it, and I actually knew him, so it feels weird to me. It doesn't, but I agree. I think he gonna be flipping tables long after all of us are gone.
Yeah.
But I'm like I say, I always say to myself, when it comes to Eazy-E, who was also my friend, and Tupac, both of whom are iconic figures who actually helped me in my life, that I'm at their service. If they got something that needs to be said on the mic, just whisper in my ear. It's going to come out my mouth. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I hope that some good comes out of it. Thought it was really interesting that Suge says, like, leave me out of it. This has nothing to do with me. This was his quote. This trial has nothing to do with me, and if somebody brings me there, I'm going to hurt whoever brings me there. I promise you that.
Threat.
That is
pretty much. Pretty sure that's not legal, but
in jail for now.
I'm not an expert, yeah. So what good could come out of it? Maybe more honoring of Pac. I do think that he's had incredible staying power. The fact that you guys are both young artists, and I don't think there's too many others from that era that get the kind of love that he gets.
Yeah, he's got staying power, just not even from a physical standpoint, but like he was saying, on a higher level, from a spiritual standpoint. The things he spoke about and meant when he was speaking, they just ring true no matter what time period it is. He could have been an activist in 1860 and still had the exact same power. So, long live Tupac.
Funny thing is, no one would categorize Pac as a conscious rapper.
Yeah.
But he was one of the most conscious in a way. And so, it's a different prototype. I myself believe that at the time of his murder, we know he was leaving. We know he was leaving LA. He was planning to go back to the Bay. And my personal belief is that building the movement was part of what was on his agenda. Building, liberation building for black people. I have reason to believe that. Okay, well, time flies when you're on the radio. Happy B-Day once again, Miles. Happy solar return.
Thank you.
UraelB, it's nice to meet you on the mic.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you want to leave us with this morning?
I want to remind people on the anniversary and or birthday of hip-hop that hip-hop is fine art. It's not a passing fad or movement that just spawned out of nowhere. It's not just a black struggle, although the black and brown communities birthed it. It is something that should be revered as classic, timeless, and influential to the world, not in just a trivial way, but in a real, lasting, impactful way. And I will preach that to the day I die. Hip-hop saved my life. Hip-hop is here, living through me, living through Miles, living through a lot of artists that I love in LA and abroad. So thank you, hip-hop. Thank you to the forefathers and foremothers that birthed hip-hop, and let's respect it as it is. Thank you.
Absolutely. What do you mean it saved your life?
Hip-hop is something that gave me an expression to things I didn't know how to express. Growing up with trauma and having things go on in my life, I knew that there was something weighing on me, and listening to other artists and them inspiring me to tell my story because they were telling their stories is something that I didn't know I needed. And I was a very quiet kid before that, like when I was growing up. But as I got older, I realized my voice was captivating, and it engaged with people, and giving myself the chance to just free my mind and express myself the way I wanted to is something I can't ever thank hip-hop enough for.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was also a very quiet kid, and now I talk for a living.
Yeah.
But certainly I share your gratitude toward the culture. I'm sure Miles does too. That's how I became a television personality. That's how I became a radio personality. That's how I bought a house. Hip-hop's been very, very good to me. And I love it back forevermore. Pleasure to meet you. I hope everyone goes and buys your album at UraelB.com.
Yeah.
I hope everyone goes and, for Miles' birthday, buy his album at MilesLowMusic.com. And I hope that you will all continue to support KBLA, because freedom of expression and free expression in our community is getting harder and harder to hold on to. And at KBLA 1580, we are very much dedicated to that. So absolutely appreciate you and all your support. You can find us on all the social media platforms at KBLA 1580. You can find me at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. And we appreciate you. Like, follow, and subscribe. The Nation's John Nichols, along with Kendall Qualls and others, featured next hour. Should be a great show. Like my dad, the late great Amiri Baraka, used to say, a person is either free or they are not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. Until next time, my KBLA family, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Thousands of residents are returning home in the Spokane, Washington area after massive wildfires forced widespread evacuations. Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles.
Our weather event that came in yesterday did not cause the spread of the fire in a way we were very concerned that it was going to.
Officials say improved weather conditions helped fire